What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Scruff Squad presents the broadcast from the Burbs. We're coming to you from Westchester, Illinois, 60154. I'm your host, Danny Adams, and here with me, as always, is my co-host, Phil Martyn.
I'm excited.
And our co-hosts and producers, Jimmy Adams and Sam Martyn.
It's the Diesel.
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
I want to apologize for our absence last week. Me and Jimmy were on vacation in New York City, so that was a really dope vacation, but now we're back, and this episode's about to be awesome, so stay in tune. So diving right into it, Anderson .Paak released a new music video. It's actually one video for two songs. One of the songs is The Waters featuring BJ the Chicago Kid, and the other song is Season/Carry Me. It was unlike anything I've ever seen, so you definitely want to go check that out.
Shout out 773, another area code for the Chicago phone lines. Vic Mensa and Joey Purp did release that track together called 773. We actually just listened to it, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a super sick track. Freaky Deaky, which is a music festival in Chicago, just announced their lineup. A few artists to look out for. It's a pretty big festival, so, I mean, they got DJ Khaled, Schoolboy Q, ASAP Ferg, Designer, Flapper Zombies, Hippie Sabotage, I Love McConan, Lil Deaky, Metro Boomin, Stormzy, and Travis Scott. So, I mean, there's also a lot of EDM guys, but the hip-hop lineup is huge for that, so I'm super pumped for that.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know about it, it's I believe 3 days before Halloween, I think October 28th through the 30th. So,
I believe so, yeah.
So, yeah, get tickets now.
Was it 3 days before last year? Because I thought we went out
No, it was
Halloween.
on.
No, I mean, it
Yeah.
just depends
It's
when
on the
Halloween
weekend.
is.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and speaking of Travis Scott, he has an album coming out soon called Burbs and the Trap Sing McKnight. It was supposed to be released last Friday, but it didn't drop due to some technical difficulties, although it is set to release this Friday, August 12th, so be on the lookout for that.
We know what that feels like.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, Frank Ocean was supposed to drop his long-awaited follow-up to Channel Orange called Boys Don't Cry this past Friday, and it was nowhere to be found. I don't know, guys, where's Frank?
I mean, he's been saying he's going to release it for so long now. I'm thinking it's going to be another Dr. Dre situation, but...
Oh, God, I hope not.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think he's going to release it soon. I think he is waiting for something special, or maybe he wants some of the hype to, kind of calm down a little bit first.
I don't think it's going to calm down. I think, if anything, he just pissed more people off with
Well,
that.
I saw something on Facebook today that somebody made, a diss of some of his songs or something like that.
Yeah, somebody made their own
I didn't listen
mixtape
to it.
called
but...
Boys Do Cry. So, yeah, I didn't hear it either, but I can only imagine. All I know about that is he released, a picture of a bunch of dates, earlier this year.
It looked like a library card.
And, yeah, it looked like a library card with stamps all over of a bunch of dates, and all of them have passed except for this past Friday, and then there's, I believe, November 13th. So, like I said, all of these have passed except
I hope
for...
I don't have to wait till November.
For those two, yeah. So people were thinking it was going to happen this past Friday, and that didn't happen, clearly. So, I mean, people are starting to think that it's going to be November 13th, and, I mean, that's just, I don't know, that's still a couple months away, and, yeah, I want some new Frank Ocean. So hopefully we don't have to wait until November 13th to get some more Frank Ocean, but while we wait, we got some new Noname. She released actually her first actual project last week called Telefone. She's got a ton of loose songs out there, just singles and kind of solo songs that kind of got her name out there. But now she finally has her first project out, and it blew me away. I expected something big, but this is much more than what I expected.
Yeah, I mean, just to start off right off the bat, I'm a huge fan of a few singles. Yesterday, Sunny Duet, Diddy Bop, Shadow Man, and Forever. I know Sam was talking about Forever too, so I want to let him talk about that a little bit. But overall, this project was just super fun to listen to because it just took me in a new realm of hip-hop. I've never heard anything like this, from the production just to the voice she has.
What did you like about those songs? I know you said the first three and then the last one, but...
Yesterday, I really enjoyed the piano and the drum riffs. Also, the hook was very catchy. That could be something that I just sing in my head just because, it was stuck in there. And then Sunny Duet featuring The Mind. I just love the background vocals, and it just sounded very clean to me. Diddy Bop, I'm a huge Rory fan, so, I mean, that was just cool to hear him on the track. And then finally, Shadow Man featuring Saba, Smino, and Felix. I think everybody knows I'm a pretty big Saba fan. Smino just performed at Lollapalooza too, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, I heard about that, yeah.
But that was I believe Shadow Man was the closing track.
Yeah.
So that was just something nice that I went out with. And then Forever, Joseph Chilliams, and Raven Lene are just 2 more artists I'm really looking forward to hearing more from.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you definitely on all of those tracks. On this project, there wasn't a single song that I actually skipped over. Like, Noname, she makes music that's really kind of thought-provoking, and it's not just, she doesn't just tell it how it is. She kind of makes you think about it, and kind of, I don't know, she makes you use your mind a lot more,
Right.
and that's what I like about it. It's not just simple, you really have to think about what she's saying, but when you do think about it and get what she's saying, it makes a lot of sense, and it's kind of insane how she uses words like that.
Yeah, and I think the production in this album kind of really went along with that, Dan, because some of the sound design was just unreal. Like, just some of the instruments that they were using and some of the, like, melodies and techniques that
Right.
they came up with, it really fit the style that she portrays.
Yeah, one of the main things that caught my attention was the way they used the percussion in this project, because not all the songs, but a lot of the songs, there was, like, the snare drum would hit on, like, an off beat or something, and it sort of almost sounded off, but then her voice was, like, sort of like the bass line, but, you know, it's hard to
Yeah, like,
explain,
Yeah,
but...
she makes her own, I guess, kind of metronome in her head,
Right.
to an extent. Like, sometimes she's not exactly on the beat, but that's intentional. She knows where she wants to be when the snare hits or whatever, when the quarter notes
Right.
hit. She knows where she wants to be, and I think that's kind of an incredible skill that not everybody has.
See, I don't know if, like, I'm all for that, to be honest, but I can appreciate,
Right.
like, the reason why she would do that, and just kind of, like, because it goes with that kind of unique sound that she has.
Yeah,
So I think
just think it's impressive.
Yeah,
'cause, like,
that's-
it's not easy when you hear kind of that quarter note whatever. Like,
Yeah,
the quarter
right.
note. You want to kind of stay on beat, but to get off beat, but to do that, it's just kind of incredible.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, when I first heard that sort of style, I was a little thrown off, to be honest, because I was like, I feel like the snare should be hitting here and here, but it wasn't. But then when you really listen to it, her voice was like, it was almost acting as that, like Danny was saying, like, it was guiding the song, whereas the snare was sort of like just the background, and it wasn't as prominent as it is in a lot of songs, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said earlier, you were talking about Diddy Bop. I think Rory was the perfect guy to have sing on
yeah.
here. I've never really heard of Cam Obi.
He
I know,
does a lot of production. I know he's worked. I think he did production on the song "Grown Ass Kids." Or
Okay, yeah.
the new song with Chance.
Yeah.
I think he did production on there, and he's done production with a lot of Chicago artists before. But
Okay, yeah, but I mean, like I said, Rory, he's just got a really lighthearted, soft voice, but it's incredible. And with Noname and kind of her, Noname doesn't really seem to add a lot of expression to her words, but that's how she means for it to come off, and it's almost like she's just talking. Like, she doesn't really have that melody or whatever in her voice, but that's part of the reason I like her so much, because it's different than what most people try.
And that's one thing I wanted to bring up too, is that her voice, like, even though it stays very nonchalant and laid back, you can tell, like, I still feel like I can feel the emotion in her voice throughout the different songs. Like, in Yesterday, it was more of an uplifting song to me, it sounded like. But like, her voice remained the same. However, you could definitely tell that she was feeling the emotions of, like, looking back at yesterday, like, as the hook was saying, like, she can remember. I don't remember the exact words, but you could definitely tell that even though her voice is very similar throughout the album, it's, you know, you could tell the different emotions.
Definitely.
Yeah, and even in a song like Reality Check, I like how she has Aaron Allen Kane and a Kenya come in and kind
Yeah.
of like sing with her and create the harmonies. So even if she like doesn't choose to do that, she has someone there to support her with. And
Oh, for
I
sure.
think like that was one of my favorite songs off the album, including Forever as well. I think that
Right.
was the best one. Just all the different dynamics that went into that track.
Right.
And, you know, listening to some of her singles in the past and some of her songs she featured on with Chance and stuff, she's always had that monotone type style to her.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
she's had the same style.
And yeah, so it's not like she's changing it up or anything, or she's sticking to what she does best. But like you guys said, I agree with all, you know, what you guys said
Right.
about it. And I think it's really cool how, like, you can almost kind of, like, you kind of let the music in the background like fuel you, and then her
Right.
voice just kind of like tell the story of what you're listening to. So
Exactly.
Yeah, the instrumentals like kind of reflect off of her voice.
right, because one of my favorite songs on there was Sunny Duet with The Mind.
Yeah.
And I just like that because like her and The Mind, I just felt they flowed so, like they just molded so well
Right.
together with, you know, with the style of the music it was, and then just, you know, her lyrics, and it was just like, whoa.
Yeah, it was almost like a juxtaposition. Like
Yeah, it was really cool
Uh,
how she did it, and that's probably why I liked it so much. It was really unique, and I'm usually not one to go too far outside the box with things, but
Right.
you know, I wouldn't say this was way outside of her
I mean,
realm.
It was different.
But it
though.
was very
production
different.
was-
It was very different.
Yeah.
And I think to me personally, it was just like, you know, I could appreciate this because, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of that, but like this was cool.
I do think like the lyricism and her flow style with her voice was very similar to what she's done in the past, but she's just like improved upon it and gotten
Right.
better.
Right.
However, the production is sort of unlike anything that she's ever rapped over before, so that's why it was really enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah, because when I first heard her, like on some of the old Chance tracks and stuff, it was almost like she wasn't confident with what she was saying.
Right.
And now that, you know, her mixtape came out,
This is her project.
her project came out. You know, you could totally see, like, you could totally feel how much more confident she is
Right.
with her lyrics, and you know, just coming
Yeah, I
out
can
and
agree with
sing,
that.
you know, telling the story.
For
Yeah.
sure.
I think it's important as a listener too, because you know we talked about how this album is unique and kind of, you know, it might not be the best to the ear, but just to kind of open up and to
Right.
like see, you know, the reason why or something like that, because you know it took us a little bit. Maybe you have to listen to it a couple of times.
Yeah, I definitely listened to it about 2 or 3 times. Well, I listened to it about 3 times fully, and then like I kind of like butchered up some of the
Right.
fourth.
Yeah, but
you know,
just
you know,
keep an open mind for sure.
Yeah.
well, that's
definitely.
something that I loved about this is because it's gonna be one of those things where every time you listen, you hear something new, you catch something that you didn't catch before, and I think that's incredible. And another thing is a lot of people, and like you can tell this is a Chicago album. She's from
Right.
Chicago.
Right.
She has a lot of the issues that everybody like living in Chicago deals with, but she doesn't just come out straight and say them. Like a lot of people in Chicago have had like those experiences where like they know somebody who have been killed or something like that. And she mentions that in like her Casket Pretty song. Like she doesn't just come out and say like, oh, one of my friends died or got shot or whatever it is. She
Yeah.
says like they look pretty for their casket, and
You know,
like
it's
it's just
really
kind of
sad.
it's
Right.
really sad. Like I didn't realize that until like the second time I listened to it, that wow, like it's not just saying like the hearing the name of the song, I thought she was just gonna say that like the casket's pretty. Yeah, it's still deep, but she
Right.
actually says in the song like people are getting ready, they're looking pretty for their
Yeah.
casket.
Right.
And
You know what I
think-
really like about it is because like I compare all of the stuff on her project to kind of like when you read a title of a book and then you actually read the book and then you have to find at the end of the book how the story correlates to the title.
Mhm.
Well, I feel like that's like all of her music or
Yeah,
all of her
like you
songs on
make
this
your
track. It's
first-
really, I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you make your initial assumptions.
Right,
and
it's
then
really
you
cool
get
to
the whole
me.
picture.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I totally agree with that. Overall, this was definitely one of my favorite projects of the year so far, just
Yeah,
because of the. It seemed very complex to me.
It
but-
is.
Yeah, it was extremely complex, and I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I just want to touch one more time. I want to say it was a single off of it called Shadow Man with Saba Smino
It may have been.
and
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
and Felix.
I believe it. You say it Felix, but it could be
Okay.
Felix. I have no
Yeah,
idea. I've
and
heard him on a few songs before.
I
though,
love
so.
this song because first off, they all kind of have the same style when it comes to making music. They all kind of like they have the deeper meaning in their music and songs. They don't come out and say stuff. They like making metaphors and stuff like that. So that's pretty insane to me. I love Saba's voice on this. How he keeps his flow. He does like 2 or 3 lines where he rhymes and then he says something kind of off the cuff. And then he does another 2 or 3 lines and then says something else that's off the cuff. But those 2 off the cuff, like just 2 or 3 words
Right.
rhyme together. And I think that was an awesome rhyme scheme. As well as I believe the second or third verse was Smino. And I haven't listened to a ton of Smino, but it was incredible. It might have been one of my favorite verses on this whole entire project. I don't know what I loved about it.
Yeah.
It's just it's flowed so nicely and
Yeah, he's another dude from St. Louis, but he calls Chicago his second home, and he's put out a lot of really good music in the past. So he's another guy like Noname that can really have a really great career if he goes down the same path.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at where Noname has gotten to without having an actual project out, just off of singles and solo songs and features, I think that with her having a project out now, she's going to get tons of attention and the actual recognition that she needs to not just get out of the city, but just to get world renowned. Like, this is definitely a step in the right direction, and I cannot wait to hear more from Noname. So I know Lala's about a week and a half away, but because of mine and Jimmy's vacation, we weren't able to talk about it. We did a preview on episode 7, our last episode, of what we thought was going to happen, who might come out, just what we expected. So if you want to go check that out, definitely go do that. Like I said, episode 7, to see if any of our predictions were right, if you went. But right now we're going to do a little recap for you. It was a 4-day event. It was July 28th through the 31st, I believe. Yeah. And it was the 25th anniversary. We were only able to go I was only able to go one day, which was Friday, and Jimmy and Sam were able to go 2 days, Friday and Saturday. But in those 2 days, we saw a lot of awesome artists, a lot of great performances. So we just wanted to, like I said, give you a little recap on that, and kind of, if you weren't able to be there, I'm sure you saw a lot of stuff on Twitter already, but here you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think on Friday the first person we ended up seeing we saw like a song of Mac Miller, and then we turned around because the backstage to him was Future. Which was one of my favorite shows of the whole weekend. I heard some people a little disappointed, to be honest.
Well,
but
I was a little disappointed, not about Future, but we were supposed to get there early enough to see maybe Saba, who was performing a little bit earlier. And then I had no doubt in my mind we would see Joey Purp, because he performed a little bit after Saba, but we were taking the train down, so we didn't get there in time. I was a little disappointed because the train expressed right past us, and we had to hop on. We had to hop on another train. Yeah, we got a later start than we thought. So, so we didn't get down there for Joey Purp, which I was really disappointed about. I'm sure that was awesome. I'm sure Saba was. He said this was the biggest crowd he's performed for, and I'm sure people showed him love being from Chicago. But yeah, I mean, Mac Miller, we saw him, me, Jimmy, and Phil saw him at Freaky Deaky last year. So as much as I did kind of want to see him again, he was a great performer. We wanted to get good positions for Future, and I'm really glad we did that, because we got there pretty much right in the middle front of the crowd.
We were right dead center. We were just like, I don't know, maybe 50 yards back, but we had great like standing room seats. So.
Yeah, we were leaning right up against the barricades, so we could lean, not really put all the pressure on our feet. And I mean, it's a lot of a lot of standing.
It is a lot of standing. No,
I don't want to sound lazy, but yeah, it's a lot of standing. It's pretty much 12 or 13 hours of standing every day. So I wanted to prepare my feet for that.
and for Future's banger.
And I was gonna go nuts, so I wanted to make sure I was as rested up as possible. But yeah, so Future, he came out. Oh God, what did he come out to?
I don't remember, but
it might have been. Thought it was a
drought?
Could have been. I don't know, but I do know that he performed pretty much every single hit he's ever had. Like,
yeah, it was crazy. He performed Magic, Karate Chop. Oh man, when he did those.
He did perform Magic.
Yeah.
See, I heard like towards the end of the show, he performed a lot of songs that he featured on, and
he performed a lot of songs that I wasn't as familiar with, but he did like Racks on Racks on Racks, which. Yeah. Was like one of his earliest songs that I recall.
Because I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about it. Like, I've heard from you guys that it was awesome, and I've heard from other people that it wasn't like the hype. It didn't live up to the hype, and mainly because, I mean, obviously a lot of rappers like sing over their own track or whatever. They have the music playing and then rap over their own track or whatever. But a lot of them just kind of like gave me some mixed reviews on it and how like it was kind of a lazy show. And I put that in quotes because I wasn't there.
Right.
But I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, honestly, I thought it was awesome because Future's like a huge performer to me that I've always kind of wanted to see.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And with him doing all the hits and stuff, I pretty much knew everything he was rapping to. And yeah, he did have his like background vocals, but a lot of rappers do that. And I know that
I know a ton of them
know it is kind of lazy, but I mean, when I go to a Future show, I'm not really expecting some sort of magical performance. I'm just expecting to turn up, and that's basically what I got.
Right, and I kind of feel for him too because he's been performing a lot lately.
Oh, yeah, he performed
he's
2
on the
shows
Summer
in
16
Chicago.
tour
Yeah,
he performed 2 shows in Chicago, and then like the next week he went to New York and performed 4 nights in a row
Yeah.
in Madison Square Garden for a sold out arena. Like,
Right.
I mean, just based on those 6 shows, I would be
dude's
pretty
probably
much dead.
drained, so
But
I
yeah.
can only imagine.
Regardless of what anybody thought of the show, it was apparent that the whole audience was into it.
Oh
Like,
man, dude.
Future was like vibing
Just
super
seeing
hard.
him in person, like after seeing all the videos, all the pictures, everything, and hearing all of his music from pretty much when I first got into hip hop to now, like it was kind of a dream come true. Like he's
Yeah, it was
definitely
sweet.
one of the top artists I've wanted to see for the longest time, and I got that performance. And I mean, like Jimmy said, a lot of people didn't think it was the greatest. But I have to disagree with them completely. Like
Yeah.
it was awesome in my opinion.
Yeah, and let's not forget he also brought out Chance,
Oh, of
which
course.
was super dope. I mean, Chance only performed No Problem, and I was kind of expecting them to do Smoke Break because they're on the
Yeah.
song together, but they didn't. But it was cool to see
Yeah,
Chance.
he introduced Chance, and I mean, if Chance was like on the Lala lineup, I would have kind of expected it more. So it was a big surprise. He brought him out.
That was the second day in a row that Chance came
Yeah,
out
because
too, right?
he came out to Flosstradamus on Thursday.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
Oh,
heard-
I
was-
actually knew that. Yeah,
He
I
did
heard that
Summer
too.
Friends.
I was surprised.
and
it
also
was-
Post Malone came out with
Yeah,
him
Post
too,
Malone
right?
too, yeah.
Yeah, for him to come out 2 days in a row like
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Throughout-
credits, kudos to him because that was awesome. Just
Throughout-
being there.
All of Lala, though, there were so many people that were brought out. I don't want to cut anybody off if we're still talking about Future.
Well, yeah. Wait, but real quick, I just wanted to say, it was what DJ Esco was his
Oh,
DJ.
yeah, DJ Esco, yeah.
Which that was really cool. He brought a lot of energy to it. And I just think Future, he had some background dancers, and like Jimmy said, I was expecting when Chance came out to at least hear Smoke Break, and hearing No Problems live was incredible.
Yeah, it was super
Definitely
dope.
pushed me to. I need to see Chance live again, even though I've already seen him. I need to see him live again, but. I was kind of hoping for more. We thought Drake might come out, and that didn't happen.
That was the one everybody was
Yeah.
expecting.
Yeah,
I did too.
I
Just
pretty
because
much had no doubt in my mind. Somebody even in the crowd, not in the crowd, actually, like walking past us, who looked like they knew
A
what they were
security guard
doing,
or something.
said like I heard them say something about like Drake's coming out or something. So I pretty much had no doubt in my mind before that show started that Drake was coming out, and he didn't. But I mean, Chance came out, and I had no complaints
Chance
about
is
that
better
at
for
all.
me
Obviously,
anyways, so-
yeah, I would have rather seen Chance anyways. So,
But
yeah, it was just that was an incredible performance, and I'm really glad I saw that.
yeah, for sure. And then another guy we saw, ASAP Ferg, was. It's weird because the lineup has ASAP Ferg as like less of a headliner than Future, but Ferg performed later in the night than Future did, and
Well, he was on a smaller stage.
yeah, but I mean, still, it's like
It could be
Future.
scheduling times too, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's
how
true,
that
but
works.
Future's listed as like a headliner, and he gets an hour from I think it was like 5:45 to 6:45, and I mean, it's not a big deal. I just was hoping he would have had a little more time, but
Yeah, Ferg was incredible.
we saw Ferg. Oh yeah, and by the way, Future and Ferg both did New Level, so it was cool.
Oh yeah,
we kind of got
didn't
both
see
of
them
their
together,
parts.
but yeah, we got both
yeah.
of their parts.
And then not to glaze over everything, but Ferg then brought out Twista for a few minutes, a
That was
Chicago legend.
Insane.
When he's like, yeah, we got a special guest, and I was like, I feel like it was gonna be Future to do New Level, and then he's like, oh, it's a Chicago legend, and I'm like, who could it be?
It's gonna be Chance again?
Yeah, it could be Chance, but then
Yay, it's Kanye.
no, well that's always
If
in
that
the back of my
happened, I
mind.
would have died.
That's always in the back of my mind, but I was pretty confident that wasn't gonna happen. But then he brought out Twista, and I was like, all right, this is freaking awesome. Like,
Yeah, Twista started freestyling.
yeah, he started freestyling.
and obviously Twista, like I don't think he does anymore, but he used to have the record for like the world's fastest
they
rapper.
talked about that actually.
And yeah, he started freestyling, and oh my
It was
god,
nuts.
like
that's
I,
always something I've always
I
wanted
try
to see.
freestyling, and I can't even put 2 sentences together. This guy puts a whole song
I
together
mean, it's Twista, man.
while rapping at like ridiculous speeds. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I was blown away. It was insane.
Yeah, it was sweet. So I mean, he only was out there for like 5 minutes, but it was sweet to see Twista.
He also had Marty Baller with him.
Yeah,
which
Marty
I was
Baller.
I was expecting that. I think Marty Baller's on tour with him right now, and
They're always together.
so yeah, that was pretty cool. They performed when they performed Uzi Gang. Marty Baller actually has a part in that, and I love that song. It just a complete turn up song, with great bass. Just it's a really fun song to listen to. So
They did. What else did they do? They did Work. They did Shaba. They did What Do You Want, the one featuring Lil Uzi. It was by Carnage featuring Lil Uzi and Ferg. And
yeah, they did that. They did Hungry Ham.
Hungry Ham, yeah, that's off his newer album. That's a dope song with Skrillex.
Yeah, I mean, he did a lot of the songs he was featured in, a lot of the songs that are his original songs. And,
Yeah.
I think he came out to a song on his mixtape Ferg Forever. I don't remember off the top of my head what song it was, but I'm almost positive it was off Ferg Forever. And
Oh, did he?
yeah, he like I said, that set. I like that because even though we got there late because we were leaving Future, we couldn't really get front row for Ferg as much as I wanted to.
We still got relatively close.
It was a smaller stage, so there was a lot of people kind of jam packed in one area, but like we were kind of towards the back of the crowd, and we still had a really good view of them, and obviously we could hear them very well, and yeah, that was just an awesome performance. I loved.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think we wrapped up the night at Martyn Garrix.
Yeah, we were just
in
in the back of Martyn Garrix because I mean he's a huge EDM name, and I mean EDM music's fun to listen to at a festival. I'm not a big fan of it outside of festival setting, but
it's always fun to listen
to. It's good party music to have fun.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we just wrapped up the night, listened to a little bit of him, and then we ended up leaving I think a little bit before his set was over. But
yeah, beat the traffic a little bit, but
yeah, that was Friday was pretty much as turn as I could imagine. I mean, everybody always hypes up Lala. I've never been, so this is my first time, and I mean, I enjoy it. I can't see spending $400 or $500 on tickets, and just because after one day I was exhausted. Like
yeah, it's a very big like fairground area. So
yeah,
it's
and there's
sort of,
so many people surrounding you at all times. Like I don't know. I like having my space every now and then.
I mean, I don't mind. I love festivals in general. I prefer smaller festivals, but this was a super.
I just
cool
like the smaller
experience.
festivals because you can get a little bit more. I don't know. Exactly.
With the
That's what I was
performers,
looking for.
yeah.
Like you can kind of squeeze to the front for whoever you want to see, and I don't know. You can get closer. It feels like that you just connect with the performer a lot more than these big festivals. But I'm sure that these big festivals are what the artists like to perform at more than the smaller ones. So. But yeah, Friday was insane. I know Jimmy and Sam, you guys both went Saturday, not together. So, I mean, you guys have two kind of different views and aspects of what you guys saw. But if you want to talk about that, that'd be cool.
Well, on Saturday, I went straight for the Tory Lanez stage because, I mean, I hear a lot of Tory Lanez on the radio. I don't really listen to him a ton outside of that. But when I went to a show, it was so nuts. It was last year, me, Danny, and Phil saw Vic Mensa. He crowd surfed right over us. We were like holding him up. The same thing happened at Tory Lanez this year. He was wearing the Yeezy Season 2 boots, which I got to touch. Those are so dope. But anyways, he was crowd surfing over us. I got Snapchat videos of it. Hopefully I'll post them on the Scruff Squad Twitter. We'll see. We'll see if the guys want it. But
yeah, we'll see. We'll make a vote.
No, we'll do it. We'll do it. But anyways, like I said, he was crowd surfing. Must have been like 30 minutes out of the hour-long show. It might have even been a 40-minute show, but it was so cool. At one point, there was an inflatable gator some guy brought, and he actually like started straddling the gator, and like he was riding it and crowd surfing at the same time, while still performing. It was a crazy experience, and it was a great way to start my Saturday. I don't know what you guys saw on Saturday first, Sam.
Yeah, on Saturday, I think my friend and I went to go see Marshmello.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, I know. He played, he kind of has that kind of trap feel a little bit more. And yeah, he went pretty hard as well. I know we were at the back, so we weren't able to, really get into the, mosh pits or whatever that was going on up there. But, yeah, he banged pretty hard, and I've always wanted to see him just because of all the hype around him, and actually, people still don't know actually who he is.
To be honest, I've never heard of him. I've heard of him. I have not.
I heard of him once on Facebook or something, but yeah, I mean, I've heard
that
so
show
much
was nuts.
since Lala, I've heard so much.
I saw the video of when he did Mad City too.
Yeah, he played a lot of hip hop and rap influenced tracks as well. Like he put a remix on it and stuff. So I thought that was a really nice touch to it. And I think he loved it as well because I saw, on his Twitter, he was really hyping up, the After movie. And he just had a bunch of, Snapchats and, videos of, Chicago goes so hard. I want to come back. So I thought it was really great that the fans gave him what he wanted. And obviously he gave the fans what they wanted. So
I don't know.
Awesome.
I mean, I've heard that he brought out ASAP Ferg. Is that true, or did that not happen? Because I thought they did. Somebody said he brought him out and they did New Level or something.
I think you're right. I mean, I don't know if that was towards the end because I think we left a little early. But yeah, he did bring out a couple of guys, and I think you might be right. Yeah, I think ASAP Ferg was on there, so that was just another great appearance and great performer that he had on with them. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I did not see Marshmello, but I did hear about the performance. Whether A$AP Ferg was there or not, I could be 100% wrong. But either way, I heard it was super dope. And another guy that I actually went to see was Big Gigantic. And I don't really listen to that type of music too much. I just thought it would be cool to see him because I've heard the name and, you know, I had nothing to do at that point. So I went to see him. He was playing some cool music. I was vibing out pretty hard. And then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I'm going to bring out one of my guests, Waka Flocka Flame. And he runs out on the stage, starts doing the song I never heard, which was cool. But then he went back in, so I was like, all right, the show's kind of over now. I was getting a little bored after that.
Everywhere. He literally comes out in the most random places.
No, I swear.
He honestly does.
It was so
it's
yeah.
It's hilarious.
But then afterwards, or like I think it was 10 minutes left in the set, Big Gigantic brings Waka out again, and he's like, no, I'm just going to let him do his own stuff. So the first song he does is Hard in the Paint, and I'm walking away from the set at this point, and I hear Hard in the Paint come on, and I'm like, I just start sprinting towards the stage, dude. I was going hard in the paint, let me tell you.
Yeah, I was
hard in the mud.
Shut up.
I was really surprised, too, because, yeah, my friend told me a lot about, he was kind of hyping Big Gigantic, and I was like, you know, really, like, I've heard a couple of their songs, you know, a couple of their tracks, but I wasn't really sure, like, what to expect, just like you said, Jim.
Right.
And, yeah, they bumped pretty hard, I know.
Oh, yeah.
They have a lot of, like, kind of, like, almost jazz influence, kind of.
Yeah, he plays the
there was
sax
a lot of
a lot.
Saxophone, a lot, you know, trumpets, and just kind of the brass instruments, so I thought it was a really nice touch because, you know, a lot of the times you're used to hearing just, you know, the main, like, hands in the air EDM at the Perry stage for the EDM acts. So it was definitely a nice little change up.
Really cool fusion of music.
Yeah,
like,
I was just going to say that. It was a great fusion, like, especially when you said he brought out Waka Flocka. Yeah, that was
he had, like, another
lit.
singer who I don't really know of, but all in all, it was a really cool show and it was unexpected. So that was kind of one of the highlights of the weekend for me just because, you know, it kind of opened up my eyes to that style of music that I'm probably going to start listening to more. So, and then after that, I didn't really have anything to do because there wasn't a ton of hip-hop. So at the time, we went and saw Big Grams, which at the time I didn't really realize Big Boy was part of. It's Big Boy and then Fantagram. I just thought it was a random group, but we went to go see him, and then I realized that's Big Boy. Like, he's a classic rapper, you know.
Yeah, one half of Outkast.
Yeah,
so that's incredible.
I mean, I came out of nowhere, really, so I really enjoyed that show. They had a really cool chemistry on stage. It was really unexpected, too, because I've never heard of the group, like I said, so.
What was their sound? Like, I had never heard of Fanagrams.
It was weird because they were sort of like, it wasn't like, it was sort of party. They were very, like, upbeat and like kind of in your face party music, and she's kind of like a singer sort of, and obviously Big Boy was rapping, so it's kind of hard to describe their style. It's sort of like a new sort of like party-ish hip-hop, but you know, Big Boy's like a classic rapper, so he really added that kind of old school flow to those types of songs. So it's really cool to go and see that. That's another group I'm going to be checking out their music more just because something new that I learned of, and I really had a good time at the show. So, and then finally, I believe in between that, we just kind of waited for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That was a group I grew up with. My dad always listened to them. And when they came on, it was awesome. They played all their old hits, and I was singing along to all of them. And obviously, it's not a hip-hop group, but I was kind of expecting a little more because they kind of just, like, did their hit songs, and that was it. There wasn't really much of a performance. I could be wrong. A lot of people were vibing out, and I enjoyed it. But I was kind of hoping for a little bit more electricity in the air or something. So, overall...
Well, I mean, a lot of their music is pretty chill.
Right, but
it doesn't really... like. I mean, I guess some of their songs do kind of get a little bit more energetic, but a lot of it is, like, pretty chill, and there really isn't too much energy for it. So maybe that's why.
Well, I know... during that time on Saturday, I was at Hardwell, which, you know, by the way, he went off as well, you know, just playing some of his new tracks and definitely some of the old ones that he's famous for.
Right.
So I thought that was a really great performance. But after that, we were able to catch the last 15 minutes of Chili Peppers, and kind of just touching off of what you said, Jim. You're kind of right. Like, it didn't seem like there was a whole lot of like enthusiasm or like energy.
Right.
I know like there's plenty of people there, but I know like at the end of the set, the lead singer, they were just like, keep in touch, and we love to like, we love Chicago, keep in touch, we'll be back, here soon or whatever. And like there wasn't really a whole lot to that, but then I mean, like, a couple minutes later, they came out with an encore.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if that's why, like, they knew they were doing an encore. But, I mean, it just seemed, I don't know.
It wasn't a bad show by any means. I loved it just because that's what I grew up with. But I guess going from the hip-hop shows that I'm used to are very, like, in your face and, like, it's a lot more adrenaline rush to me. So, I mean, I guess that could be the reason why, too. But I just didn't like feel the connection as much to the Chili Peppers as I did at other shows. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
I could see that.
Yeah, so I mean, it wasn't a bad show. I liked it a lot, but I don't know. I kind of was hoping for a little bit more. But overall, there was a lot of people I was expecting to see, like Future and Ferg and stuff that outdid themselves, and then there's a lot of people who I'm gonna have to look out for more. So. It's a great Lollapalooza weekend overall.
And Sam, just real quick, I know you said you saw Hardwell. Is there anything that kind of made him stick out amongst like anybody else? Because I know he's one of your favorite like EDM artists. Is there anything that made him stick out that like I don't know, either change your opinion of him for better or worse, or just kind of I don't know, made it a great performance?
Well, I know like one of the things that I like about him compared to other DJs is that he kind of, I mean, he's been doing a little bit more on the microphone as of late, but normally, like, he speaks through the music, where a lot of the DJs will, like, just talk through the microphone, like, everybody jump, put your hands up, like, he'll let the music do the talking.
Right.
And I know, like, just kind of the way he does his transitions, he always keeps the vibe of the previous song, and then he just fuses it with the new vibe of the other song, but there's not really a whole lot of, like, cuts or filters where you have like all this energy and then it drops and then you like re-pick it back up. It's kind of like all this energy and then it lessens a little bit and then it just goes back to an even higher level. So yeah, I mean, like you said, Jimmy, just the energy is really what kind of keeps the fans going, and they're more or less the artists as well. So I just think Hardwell brings like an uncanny energy, and I know like Future could do that for you guys as well. So that's why they're one of the greats.
Real quick, did you have a favorite performance of the weekend at all? Anybody?
Well, I mean, to be honest, it was either between Hardwell.
I wasn't there. I just wasn't there.
It's okay, Phil. It's okay.
To be honest, it was between either Hardwell or Martyn Garrix.
Okay.
And I mean, Martyn Garrix was awesome, and we met up. My friend and I met up with a couple other people, and we kind of were just all there together, and you're just like feeling the music, feeling the vibes. So I don't know. I guess I'd have to give it to maybe Garrix or Hardwell. It's really a toss up. It's really a toss up.
Cool.
Yeah. For me, I don't know. I mean, pretty much ASAP Ferg and Future were the two that I saw.
Right.
Their full sets, and I don't know. I gotta say Future. I mean, we waited like an hour for him. And he came out, delivered with all of his hits, and I mean, I loved Ferg because I mean, just Ferg's voice, his just
general,
persona,
his
he's just
energy.
awesome. Yeah, I love the ASAP Mob, like I just love that. But I don't know, Future just he was on a new level, I guess.
Yeah.
Good one, Dan.
Thanks, guys. But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed Future. We were just vibing to him. Had really good spots. So. I got to go with Future.
Right.
He takes the cake for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to choose because I would either agree with that. I would go ASAP Ferg or even Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez really impressed me just with how personable he was with the crowd, and he just put on a crazy show that, I mean, for early in the day, usually you're going to get more of the vibier shows, but that really started the day off pretty well. So, it's really hard for me because I'm terrible at making decisions, everybody knows.
All right.
Yeah, you gotta
1,
pick.
2, 3, who?
Oh, I don't.
That didn't
Okay,
help.
it's
Yeah.
okay. I saw a bunch of people though, so it's either
Yeah, we know,
Future,
we know.
Ferg, or Tory.
Pick one.
Shut up. I don't have to pick one.
I'm holding a gun to your head. Pick one or you die.
Shoot me.
Wow.
I don't care.
Marry
I
one,
can't
have
do
one,
it.
kill one.
Yes. All right.
I can't do it. Anyways.
Barbara Walters, Oprah Winfrey.
All right.
I don't remember the. Okay.
Anyways. So
Getting
yeah.
way off track.
Yeah, I was in the land of brats and dairy, so.
Phil went to Wisconsin instead of Lollapalooza, but yeah, well,
But Phil had
we'll
his
talk
own
about that another
Phil had
time.
his own concert up there, so it's all right.
Anyways,
I don't want to get into it.
anyways, yeah. So
How does that work?
I can tell you about it.
No, it's fine. We don't need to hear about the Journey cover band.
It's a
you
story
I know
said.
you
for
guys
another
want
day.
to. Yeah, I know you guys want.
No.
Come
Story
on now.
for another day.
I'll pass.
I did like your Snapchat though. You were watching the Journey cover band, and you said Lollapalooza was crazy this
Okay,
year.
I didn't go. Okay, for you listeners, I didn't go up to Wisconsin to listen to a Journey cover band.
I think you did.
No, they have an air show every year, and it's huge. It's like a week long. It's one of the biggest in the United States, and I go every year, and just happened to be the same day as Lolla. So
Journey cover band.
and the Journey cover band was there, and it was
bumping.
popping. All the pilots
Alright.
were sitting on the wings of their plane. It was actually really cool.
Well,
but I got videos. I mean,
Phil
you guys
was
want
at
me to
his own
send them on social
Lollapalooza. We
media?
were at the real Lollapalooza. So overall, 2016
Every day is
Lollapalooza,
I was lit off
Lollapalooza
the
for
jungle
Phil.
juice, man.
25th anniversary. It was lit.
So yeah, once again, we wanted to apologize for our absence like this past week and a half. Like I said, me and Jimmy were in New York, and I mean, just for those of you who are curious, we're just gonna kind of breeze over some of the highlights of the trip and like some of the stuff related to music, I guess you could say. So we got there Monday, and pretty much immediately we went straight to Times Square, which is a
It
sight to
was
see. Like
so crazy.
there's so many people everywhere. So
I can
many
compare it
colors and
to-
lights.
I was trying to compare it to, like, navigating through the people at Lollapalooza is kind of similar to walking through the people at Times Square. It was just that many people. It was a crazy sight to see.
Yeah, and as we were there, we were actually walking past with our whole family, and there was a bunch of guys trying to sell their mixtapes, and so we walked past. Two guys handed me and Jimmy each one of theirs. My guy, I know his name's Mr. Manhattan.
I don't know what my
spelled
guy's
wrong.
name
I'm not sure exactly if that was intentional or not, but I haven't listened to that one yet.
Shouts
Jimmy-
out Mr. Manhattan.
Yeah, shouts out Mr. Manhattan. And then the other guy is, like Jimmy
I
said,
don't
he
know.
doesn't remember his name. But we actually listened to that one, and it's not that
It's dope.
bad.
The beats are a little outdated. I mean, his rapping's dope. But I always like to give guys like that a shot just because, I mean,
Like, they're hustling. I
yeah.
mean,
I mean, CDs are not the way to go anymore, but if you're handing them out, sure, I'll do it.
yeah, I
But-
mean, if you're in Times Square, there's so many people that walk past that, I mean, you can hand your mixtape over, and somebody's bound, every, like, probably 30 seconds to a minute, somebody's bound to, like, kind of almost feel awkward enough to throw you $1.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think that's pretty cool.
We're making money.
We did a few other things. Obviously, saw the Statue of Liberty. We saw the 9/11 memorial as the week progressed, and then I believe it was Thursday, right? We went to Soho, which
Yeah, the
is
shopping district,
the
sort of.
shopping district, and just seeing a lot of the stores, like just thinking about it, like so many celebrities have been on those streets and walked into those stores. Like I see the Louis Vuitton store.
Yeah,
and
Kanye.
it reminds me of the line from I want to say No More Parties in LA, like, and the Louis Vuitton store got all my pay stubs. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
that could be the store that kind of
It probably
spends
is,
all
to
this.
be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like I would assume one of the main Louis Vuitton stores in America. So
Yeah, so we didn't actually end up going in because I'm sure as soon as we walked in, people would turn us right around. But
yeah,
we actually did. We walked all the way to Supreme. It was like, I don't know, a 15-minute walk just to find out that they're closed for
till
the
fall.
season. Yeah, until their fall and winter 2016.
We should have
Um,
known, but
Yeah,
still
I mean,
hoping
it was.
to
I
see.
still would have wanted to go see the store. I mean, that's what, one of 2 or 3 stores.
Yeah,
Like in the world.
I still
so-
think they should bring one to Chicago. It's a huge, like streetwear.
Yeah, huge
center.
skate. I mean, it's a skateboarding brand, but now it's pretty much not. I mean,
It's synonymous
it's
with
a
hip-hop.
skateboarding brand, but yeah, I mean, right now, like that's how it started out. But right now, I don't. It's really not skateboarding
Brands
anymore.
like
I mean,
that,
they still have skateboards,
Palace.
and they still consider themselves a skateboarding brand, but it's streetwear, it's fashion. Like that's what I mean. I look at it as, and then we ended up going to Bape. Thank God that was open because
It's like an hour-long wait, though.
yeah, we waited in line for like 45 minutes to an hour. But actually, while we were waiting in line, some dude pulled up on a moped on the sidewalk with his whole crew. He was decked out in head to toe Bape. He had grills, everything. He looked like he was meant to be there. He just walked right up to the front door. He knew the bouncer and workers and stuff that worked there. So I'm like, this guy needs to, mean business. He needs to know these people. And I guess his name, he's YM Bape on Instagram. He actually got famous by going around. He started kind of a Supreme Bape, feud, if you want to say. And he just pretty much finds people wearing Supreme in New York, LA, wherever, and just like makes fun of them, gives them shit. And I just think it's really funny because, like I said, he'll find somebody with a Supreme hat and he'll throw the hat on the ground and say, banging on my chest, Bape all day, I'm an ape, whatever. And like I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
So shout out to you, YM Bape, banging on my chest, man, and please don't catch me wearing Supreme.
But walking into the Bape store was cool. We had to wait an hour, like I said, but walking into the store was dope because it's just a very clean looking shop. The aesthetic is really like high fashion sort of, but also streetwear. And then
they have like one of everything out.
Yeah.
Like
and
it's
then they
just
had
one size that you have to ask for if like you want a different size. And
right, yeah, it's very like minimalistic. But then they also had like a lot of hip hop playing. I think they had a Kanye song on. So overall it was a really cool vibe. Everything's pretty much out of my price range at this point.
They had like pretty much two cast iron, or not cast iron, I don't know, like silver statues when you first walk in of like mannequins wearing the Bape hoodie, which is like
up.
zippered up, and it has like the Bape faces, and then they have like all the Bape models of shoes, and like a little circle thing at the front. And it was, obviously everything was way too expensive for us, but it was just an experience to go there and be there. So, and right across the street there was a Y3 store. We didn't end up going in because we didn't have time, but it was There's
really a lot of streetwear stuff.
Just like window shopping was awesome. I wanted to go to Kith. I wanted to go to Billionaire Boys Club.
Flight Club.
And Flight Club. We didn't have a chance, but
next time.
Yeah, just seeing all that stuff was crazy.
And also just seeing how like the music and the fashion just coincides.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That much.
For sure. You see a lot of like, the more mainstream guys like Kanye wear obviously more designer names, but even people like Kanye, when they first started out like in hip hop, they were wearing like Bape, like Ralph Lauren, stuff like that, and they really made those types of brands sort of like streetwear staples. And
yeah, like I said before about like the Louis Vuitton store.
Yeah, that's what they rap about.
Has to be in there.
Right.
Like, just thinking about like the Bape store, the store we were in, how many people have been there? Because I think that there's only a Bape store in New York and one in Japan. So
right, it's a Japanese brand, so yeah.
Just thinking of all the people that have been in that store, walked through that door, touched the door handle, as dumb as that may sound, like, there's history pretty much.
Yeah, it's a landmark, basically. But, that's the thing that's so important, is that hip-hop and fashion, are, like, they're not one and the same, but they can't exist without one another. Hip-hop, you hear so much about...
You hear people getting money and spending it on these brands.
Exactly, and it's just crazy to see the connection, because... walking through the streets of Soho, you could definitely see people wearing the streetwear clothing. Definitely, like, they're listening to hip hop music, and it all comes
just
together.
An inspiration, yeah.
Right.
It's just it's hand in hand. Sneakers, streetwear, and hip hop music kind of just all go hand in hand. You really can't get one without the other two, and that's just.
And another thing that kind of coincides with that too is food. We went, I don't remember what day it was, but towards the end of the
Friday,
trip,
I believe, yeah.
We went to Bauhaus, which, for those of you who are familiar with Eddie Wong, he has a show on Viceland called Wong's World, and then he is also the main character in the show Fresh Off the Boat.
It's based on his life growing up.
It's
in
not
the
actually
90s.
him, but...
And that show's great because it's got a lot of the hip-hop influences. It like shows him being influenced as a kid, and now like you said, the show on Viceland, it's him going around. You can tell by his style and the music he listens to, like he always like refers back to that. And walking in,
I don't think I said it. Bauhaus is Eddie Wong's restaurant.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just so you know, I was giving
he
a little
opened
background.
that restaurant in New York, and it was Asian food.
It was Chinese, Taiwanese fusion, sort of. They're both very similar cuisines, but that's what the type of food it was. And you walk in, and a bao, like Danny was saying...
It's like a little, like, Asian sandwich taco type thing, and
Right.
I mean, you gotta try it. There's really no way of explaining it.
I could post some pictures on Twitter.
Yeah, it's really, really good, and just kind of the vibe you get around there. There's stickers all over the walls, writing,
graffiti.
Yeah,
Very
like it's a
artistic,
really
yeah.
small.
influential.
It's a really small restaurant, but yeah, you walk in, you
Hip hop
hear.
music.
Oh, what did they play when
They
we
played
first walked
21.
in?
Well, I don't know, but they played 21 Savage.
Yeah, they had that.
They had Travis Scott 3500 was
oh
on.
yeah, that was on.
They had some older stuff. I believe
Yeah.
they played Outkast at one point, but I could be wrong.
I think so. Yeah, they just had so much stuff, and just, I mean, he wrote a book. He's got like a clothing line. That
Yeah.
stuff is hanging up, and just seeing all that stuff is, it was an awesome experience. I mean, and the food being incredible was a plus on top of that.
Right.
But yeah, so I definitely am itching to get back to New York as soon as possible.
One last thing I
yeah.
glazed over on accident was in Soho there was actually a Future Hive pop-up shop.
Oh yeah,
because
because
Future was there in New York.
We didn't know about that. I was on Snapchat and they had
No,
a
I
filter
know.
for it, and we just happened to literally be. We looked across the street and there was a line, and we looked and it said Future Hive pop-up shop, and I mean, I kind of put two and two together and realized that Future and Drake obviously were in town.
Unfortunately, we didn't have like
Fortnite, so-
3 hours to wait in line, but
Yeah, I mean,
that would
it
have been
would've
super
It
dope
would
to
have
go
been awesome, but yeah. So
see. It's family vacation, so
yeah, we have to kind of abide by the rules of the family, I guess. But yeah, that would have been awesome. But it was just cool to see it, and like I said, I mean, New York was an incredible city,
like the
more
birth
than
of
what
hip-hop, so.
It was so much more than what I expected. Like I kind of went into this. Like, I'm from Chicago. I love this city. There's no way any city's going to be better than this. I'm not saying it is better than that, but I'm saying I do get where the hype comes from for New York.
it's a cool city.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool city. And, yeah, I need to get back as soon as possible. And that moment we've been waiting for. Every week we started this drill tape of the week, brought to you by Drill Martyn, a.k.a. Drill Time Phil. Real excited once again to hear what this one's going to be. Not sure if you have it in mind yet or not, but it's always a surprise for us. So,
Oh God.
what's up, Phil? What's our drill tape of the week?
Channel Orange by Frank Ocean.
Phil, shut up. Great
no,
album.
no, it's Call Me Dotarachi by S. aka Dotarachi. 1.5 EP.
Wow, that's quite the name.
Wow. It's the name of
Dot.
it's called. It's by Dotarachi. He goes by Dotarachi. He used to go by S. Dot.
Sounds made up.
It's not.
I'm
No, you
kidding.
never
I
heard
know.
of S-Dot?
But
No,
it's called.
I've heard
But it's
of
called. Call Me Dotarachi 1.5.
All right.
It's an
Is
EP.
there- is there a
I've
first
never
one?
heard it, so I
You know there is.
Oh,
Yeah, there definitely is.
I think I stumped the drill
No,
master.
there definitely is.
I'm just kidding.
No, but it's really good. He's got a lot of good songs on there. Like Every Day, I Pray.
All right.
Jeez, man. I mean, there's a bunch on there that's good. So.
All right, I'll check it
I'll
out.
take your word for it. And yeah, I definitely have to check that out. I've never heard of it, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing it.
It's dope. I mean, you guys have definitely heard it.
I'm sure I have.
I'm
Yeah, I'm
bumping-
sure
I'm
you
bumping
played
in
it
the car
before.
a
I'm
lot,
sure
so
you
I'm
I'm
sure you
played
guys
it
have
on the
heard
Drill Time Phil's playlist.
Yeah.
it. It is.
I'm not making fun of you.
Every
just
Time we're in
so
the
you
car
know.
with Phil,
Chicago.
it's about to be Chicago.
Y'all know.
It's holiday season.
All right, well, that's our show, everyone. Thanks for listening, and please show us support and let us know how we can get better. Feel free to share topics, songs, artists, and ideas for us to talk about in the future. You can do this by following our Twitter, which is @Scruff_squad, and please like our Facebook page, Scruff Squad Presents, the broadcast from the Burbs.
Yeah, guys, stay up to date on our social media, of course, as always, and keep your eyes peeled because our website is coming out.
Very
I know
soon.
we say it every week, but it's getting there.
It's a work in progress,
It is.
guys.
Websites take a while, but we're definitely working on it.
We're getting
not,
closer and closer every
Trust
week.
me, we're not going to leave you guys hanging out to dry.
Definitely.
Definitely go check out our stuff on SoundCloud and Mixcloud. We're going to have our podcasts up over there and our playlist up on SoundCloud. And obviously watch our video on YouTube. And
Please subscribe to
yes,
YouTube as
please
well.
subscribe.
Yeah,
guys.
We
the
Please
more
love
the
subscribe.
getting new subscribers every week. It just feels great knowing
Yeah.
that we have more and more people
It's
listening.
a warm feeling in my heart.
Right, and it lets us know that you guys enjoy it, and so that we can keep doing this.
Sure. Feel free to
Also,
like
guys,
videos, too.
yeah, feel free to like them and comment if you guys want.
Yeah.
Just don't be dickheads about it. No, and guys, please send us emails at Scruff Squad Scruff Squad 60154 at gmail.com. And guys, yeah, please feel free to email us suggestions and comments and stuff.
Definitely. Yeah, we're getting back in the swing of things, so I'm really excited to be back from vacation and get back on the grind. So once again, guys, thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for our next episode.
Thanks, guys.